In this video, we're going to create a simple to-do list web application using React and Redux. We will create a Redux store to manage our state. We will also create a basic UI to list our items and allow us to create new items. And finally, we will also provide the ability to delete the items. So let's move over to the code. First, we're going to use the Create React App tool to scaffold out a basic application structure. Now we're also going to install Redux and React Redux. And now we're going to open our code in our editor. And we'll also spin up the server so we can view our application in the browser. So that's the demo application in place. Okay. Just add in a new title. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a reducer.js, and we're going to create our initial state, and we're just going to populate that with a to-do list with 0 items. And now we're going to create our reducer function. It's going to take 2 arguments. It's going to take the state, which we're going to default to the initial state, and then it's also going to take an action. Inside a reducer, we're going to have a switch statement, switching on action type, and then we're going to have a default state which just returns the state. And then we're also going to export our reducer. Now we're going to add in our add to do case, and then here we're going to return the current state. Then we're also going to append the current to-dos with our new to-do, which will be coming from the action payload. And then the final case we're going to add is going to be our delete to do. And that is going to again return the state, but it's also going to filter the current to-dos and remove a to-do item by ID. We're going to get that ID off the action payload. So that's our reducer function complete. So now we're going to move over to index.js, and we're going to start by importing the provider from React Redux. And then we're also going to import create store from Redux. Now we're going to create our store using create store and passing in reducer, which we automatically imported. And then we're going to add the provider and pass our store to make it available. So now we're going to move into app.js, and we're going to start by creating a to-dos component. And then also a to-do input component. And then we're going to render both of those to the UI. Okay, and then inside of to-do input, we're going to call use dispatch. And then we're going to return our input element also a button element to add the to-do. So we're going to create a new to-do and a set new to-do. Call useState, and then we're going to add new to-do to the input value. And then we're also going to create a handle change function to set the new to-do value as the user changes the input value. And then we bind that to the onChange event, and that will keep the value in sync. So now we're also going to add a handle click handler. So this will be called when the user clicks on the button, and that will then dispatch the add to do action. And the payload will be an object, and that will contain a label, which will be the new to do value, and then we'll randomly generate an ID. And then add the onClick handler to our button. So inside our to-dos component, we're going to pull the to-dos off the state using the useSelector hook. Then we'll put a simple check to check if we have no to-dos. So if no to-dos, just return a p element with no to-dos. And then if we do have to-dos, we're going to return an unordered list, and then for each of our to-do items we're going to return an li element. And then each li element will contain the to-do.label. Got a small error there. Yeah, so as you can see, we can now add multiple to-dos to the state, and then they get rendered back to the UI. So now we're going to add an onClick handler to each of our to-do items. And so we're going to add handle click, and then we're going to create a function, and that's going to dispatch our delete to do action, and then it's going to pass a payload containing the ID. We just need to ensure that we're passing along that ID for each element. We just need to add the use dispatch hook call. So now we can add to do, another to do, another to do, and then when the user clicks each to do, it then dispatches the delete action and removes it from the list. And thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe.